Welcome to Adults Only Comedy Berlin. Today we have Nikita Ha.
Hello.
It's spelled K-H-A, so that's the first time I've known that I'm mispronouncing it. That's good.
It's okay. I mean, like, it's just like from my full last name. It's just like a first three letters.
Okay.
Yeah, and also I make it as a bit that it's like a short for it stands. The full one stands for ha ha ha.
Yes.
I don't know. So it's working.
Comedians.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you're from Russia.
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
It's tough. Every Russian I meet these days, they're just so apologetic.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have also like a bit about this, but I'm from Siberia. It's actually like my town. It's a small town. I mean, like 500,000 people small.
Okay, yeah.
But it's like
Not like Germany small, but yeah.
It's on the border with Mongolia, right? Like, so basically it's like it's a 5 hours. I don't want to be too nerdy or whatever, you know, like, but it's like a 5 hour time zones from Moscow. It's above Mongolia, you know, like my city called Ulan-Ude, capital of Mongolia called Ulaanbaatar. So it's, you know, like there is some connection. Yeah, like.
So it's like kind of like, so Siberia is a bit like Mongolia, Russia. Like it's a kind of combination. Is that really naive to say that?
Like Siberia, you can say everything about, you know, like whatever after is the Urals in Russia somehow, right? Like, so it's like Siberia, then there is a little bit of Far East, but I say Siberia because it's people know what's this, you know, like, and yeah, like it's the south of Siberia basically, right? Like, and everyone else asking then later, you know, like, is it cold right now or is it not? You know, it's actually right now it's pretty warm. It's like 25 degrees.
Oh, nice.
In the winter, it's very cold, so it's like minus 35, minus 40, something like that.
That's standard, minus 35.
Yeah, like minus 25, I would say, right? Like, so it's like it's called highly continental climate. So in summer it's warm, in winter it's cold. You know, like, so
highly continental.
I hope it's called like this. I don't know.
Like a highly continental breakfast, please. Okay, so it means like it's really, really high up, as in like the land mass, as in like altitude is high.
Maybe, I don't know. Like, I don't think it's higher than wherever, but like because of something.
You don't think it's higher than
because
whatever?
Because of reasons, it's, you know, like cold during the winter and warm during the summer. I don't know why. Yeah.
I like how you started that off with like, I don't want to be too geeky, but like you can't explain any of it, so it's like
sorry.
No, okay, so you grew up in winters of minus 25.
Yes.
Shit. And how long have you been away from Siberia?
So I moved to Moscow when I was when I went to the university. So like my whole school was there, and then I went to the university, and like 5 years ago I moved to, like 8 years ago already I moved to Germany, right? Like, so I was there until 2007. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So did you have Facebook in Siberia?
No, only this.
Oh, that's right. We're talking Russia as well. Like, of course, like in terms of Russia doesn't have Facebook, right? Or they do?
It had Facebook for a brief moment. Now I think it doesn't have anymore.
Okay.
Because of whatever's happening right now.
Yeah.
But it had like the Kontakte, which is like a complete copycat of Facebook.
Is it the same like blue and white background?
Yeah. It's like completely copied, you know, like. But in Russia, everybody believed it's better. I mean, like, it's better because there is, you know, like free music, free videos, free porn, and all this kind of stuff.
Free porn on the Russian Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you're selling it to me. That's amazing.
You know, it's a funny random fact, but right now, like, there was like a big debacle that they wanted to ban Pornhub in Russia, and they didn't ban it, but they agreed that they will have authorization through Kontakte, which is like Russian Facebook, at Pornhub. So basically, you know, like to watch something at Pornhub in Russia, you have to, you know, like authorize via local Facebook.
Okay.
So, and it's actually the last reasons why I was using like Kontakte a few other days, you know.
Wow, Russia's smart. What a strategy. Fuck. Yeah, okay. Just the reason why I bring up Facebook, just for the people listening, if anyone listens to this regularly and is wondering what's happening with my Facebook, I got phished and hacked yesterday. So my business accounts are completely blocked to me, and my Facebook profile, I've made a new one It's me wearing the denim jacket. Anyway, I hope they don't go through my messages. I hope they don't find any nudes. I hope they don't. I've blocked my bank card. But anyway, that's why I ask about Facebook, because
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's on the brain. Okay, so Siberia, fuck.
And like one other thing about like the Facebook in Russia and stuff like
Yeah.
that, why I actually even thought that like your invitation was a scam. I was like,
Yeah.
obviously she couldn't invite me, like I was like thinking already,
So just context. So basically, I invited Nikita to my place for the podcast and checked in right before I got hacked. And then when I confirmed it today via Instagram, Nikita's like, yeah, but is this a scam? Like, are you actually you? Yeah. So go on, Zoe.
Yeah, and but like in Russia, it's a quite a common scheme, like to scam people. Like sometimes like there was like this thing called Skype before, right?
Yeah.
Like yeah, so
there was this thing called Skype. Yes, Skype.
yeah, so like in Russia at some point of time, like people were also hacking you, and like your friends, old friends, started to write you either in Vkontakte, like Russian Facebook, or in Skype, like yeah, how you doing and whatever, like lend us some money, and and most of the times it was like hacked, and people who were talking to you were actually people sitting in prisons.
Ooh.
It's some sort of like a business or something, like I don't know, they have like their phones or whatever, and somebody from the outside helps them, like, or they have a lot of time, so they actually go sit in prison and like try to scam you. And there was like a lot of news like this, that like people were scammed and people confessed that they were from prison writing this and etc. So I was like thinking that it's not you, Anna, it's somebody's in prison, like very smart, for some reason inviting me to Neukölln to like rob me. I don't know.
But honestly, my address, like, it kind of adds up to a scam. Like, if you hadn't double checked with me and then you'd arrived here and then like you'd definitely be getting mugged for sure.
Yeah.
This apartment block is scary. I feel, and I also appreciated you're the first person to be like, what's the end game? What are they going to get from you? And I only had that thought, like, I don't know if that's just coming from a real position of, if it's just ignorance, naivety, or privilege, but like, I hadn't got to that point of like, what are they doing this for? Like my brain the whole time yesterday was like, okay, maybe they're going to try and access my credit card through my business account. But then I was like, but that's just to run ads. Like they can't actually get the full credit card because it's all asterisked, right, on the thing. So it's like, so then I was like, they're just fucking with me. Like they're just wanting to fuck with me. They're just wanting to fuck with me. They just like, they've got nothing better to do. But the question is like, yeah, what are they going to benefit from? Like, how are they going to make money or do something cool from this? I don't get it. I don't understand. All right. And basically, just a huge shout out to Facebook. Just like, I don't understand why it's so difficult to get your business account like locked, and then for them to investigate who's hacked it, given how much money we put into advertising and how much that's my business. So
yeah, not bad. Or not good.
Not good.
So in my mind, like because of all this artificial intelligence I was reading up, I'm like thinking now they're gonna feed all your data, all your conversations or your pictures to artificial intelligence, and they're gonna create bot called Anna, and like it will impersonate and defraud people on your behalf, like in Vietnam or something like that, like, and yeah.
Yeah, probably. Although I think the only stuff they'll have is like my login details, like date of birth, address, phone number, and my email, and then my old password. Like that's all they've got. So if they can, depending on how far they can go, I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm also concerned, like, there's definitely, like, a photo of my passport that's been sent through Messenger, like...
But what I mean is, like, they know how you talk to people now, and, like, now the, like, ChatGPT bot can impersonate you somehow, like, and they will be, like, sending, okay, like, go and defraud this guy, and then it would be you, like, writing to somebody, but you would be always, like, signing up him for the open mic, and that would be, like, a very bad scam somehow,
Yeah, just getting like really bad comedians on my shows. That's how they're gonna fuck me. But I also just wonder, like, there was a part of me this morning that was just hoping that they'd see all my content and be like, no, this is a good person. She's putting on comedy shows. She's lovely. Like, you know what? Let's just switch it back and get off this whole account and like leave it to her. You know, like, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
why fuck with someone who's like creating comedy shows and like just putting jokes online and fucking bringing people together? Also, I'm wondering like if they got my messenger, just like the number of messages I get in a day, it's like they've fucking hacked the wrong person. It's gonna be so annoying getting like this many notifications, right?
Well, I mean, if you didn't get it back yet, maybe you're not a good person then.
All right. I'll take that. Or like they just don't give a shit. But I do want to know how they're gonna. So maybe they're just gonna create a bot of me and like scam people with.
Maybe it's a comedian that you never stop signing up for your open mics from Vietnam or something. You know, like any recollections?
It's possible, right? It's possible. What like. Send me like threaten me with something. You know what I mean? Like do something. Like talk to me. Yeah.
That's
anyway.
True.
Fucking yeah. Okay. I'm getting over it, and it's gonna be fine. It's just massive inconvenience. And I was reflecting on how quickly it could have not happened, and how quickly it did happen. And it was really just a half an hour window. And as I was writing to my show last night, I was also like, I guess most mistakes happen, like big mistakes that could have been avoided, happen within a half hour window.
Most of the times, yes. And it's also when you're like busy with something else, you don't have time to do it, and then you're like, okay, you know, like I don't have to do this, yes, and then this shit happens.
Exactly, you know? Right? But same with like, you know, unprotected sex or you know, unwanted pregnancies, STDs, getting hit by a bus. Yeah, have you had anything's recently where you're like, if only I had done this and it all happened so quickly and...
Yeah, let me think about this. I actually don't remember anything like this in a while. I like something stupid also, just, you know, like being drunk and getting into the tram, you know, like ways and falling down.
Oh shit, on your bike?
Yeah.
Oh...
But that's okay. I mean, like, I was just like whenever I heard people doing this, is like, how you can be so stupid, you know, like to do this. And then I did it myself, and then like, okay, you have to be very drunk for this, you know, like this is how it happens.
Although I've done that sober, but it was because I was crossing to get out of the way of a rubbish truck, and I crossed, and my wheel like just wasn't at enough of an angle, and I got caught in the tram track, and boom, I was down.
Okay.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, no, that's never good with
no.
this.
But you did that drunk, okay.
Yeah. It's okay though. Like, I don't know. You asked me about something maybe more, you know, like interesting, and that's like a shitty story.
You're like bike and tram tracks. Yeah, what a mistake. What a mistake. Have you had any failed like accidental pregnancies, or have you? Yeah.
Myself, no.
No, you've never been pregnant.
No.
Me neither. Never been pregnant.
I also think I haven't had an unprotected sex even. You know, like
wow.
Yeah, I'm very very vanilla in this, I would say.
Well, no, that's just like fucking good ethics. Good on you. No unprotected sex.
I mean, I wish I would have, but you know, like, and then your partner says, you know, like, I don't want to have a baby, so you know, like, dress up. So you know, this is usually
I like
how it
dress
goes.
up as the term. Can you dress up, please? Let's stay independent and free.
Yeah, one time I had like that was like the most motivating and most convincing this phrase sounded from like a girlfriend I had like maybe a few years back while I was still in Munich, and she had a kid, you know, like so she had a kid like in the other room, and she was like, yeah, put a condom on, you know, like I don't want another one, and you're like, enough said, you know.
The kid was in the next room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very convincing argument. But I think generally, like, we should be like, when it's like, yeah, let's be safe. It should just be a very quick, you know.
Yeah.
Condom on.
True. Yes.
Right?
I mean, like, I wish there would be like some male contraceptive or something like that, right? Like that kind of, you just take a pill and you don't ejaculate, or you ejaculate, but you know, ejaculate with the false guys. I don't know.
Yeah, like it removes the stuff. Well, it just stops them from being. Yeah, like have you watched Working Mums?
No.
It's a Netflix series. It's quite funny. There's one woman that works in an advertising agency, and she gets to run the account for the first contraceptive pill for men. And
wow, okay.
yeah, and it's really like it should be here already, right? But like, yeah, it's in the TV in the series. It's called Seedless, and just the idea that like it.
Wow, sounds sad, man.
Seedless. They make it sound pretty good, actually. Although, if I do think about it, like, I'm not sure if you want less in any of it. Like, I think you just want it, like, something to do with freedom and, like, male response, like men taking the men's role of taking responsibility. Like, it doesn't have to be men's role, but like taking responsibility. But it would be fucking cool.
Would it sound like more sexy or less sexy for you if you would knew that man is, like shooting blanks?
More or less sexy. I don't know. Like, I've had sex with at least one guy that's had a vasectomy.
Oh, wow, okay.
And that was pretty exciting. I was like, yeah, this is. But I only found out after.
Okay.
And then like it was just a sort of a one night stand. We would have hooked up again, I think, but like I wasn't in the country for that long.
All right, so it was exciting for you because it was like unprotected sex and you didn't know.
It was exciting afterwards because I was like, I'm not gonna get pregnant. But the motherfucker didn't tell me, and he came inside me, and I was like, dude. And he was like, no, I've had the snip. I'm like, what? And he's like, I've had the snip, and I was like, you shouldn't have come inside me anyway, dude. But cool that I can't get pregnant. Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this like is like bad etiquette to come inside even if it's like a snip?
Yes,
Yeah?
because I think also like STDs are transmitted much more through the actual liquid.
Never had any STDs, I would say also. But
what? You would say?
Yeah, no, but like I haven't. No, I don't think so. I had like a pee in my blood recently, but I don't think it's because of the STD.
Oh, that's right. You had a bit about it.
Yeah.
You have a bit about it.
Like I don't have it anymore.
The blood went away.
Yeah.
Well, it can just be like you said from sport. Like it can just be something gets knocked around in there.
Yeah. So like I don't do exercise like the last 3 days, so it's fine. So maybe if I run next time, it's gonna come back again. So maybe I'm banned from sports. But like coming back to the Seedless.
Yes.
I actually have this. Like I had the operation as a kid. I had like this condition when I was a kid. Like 3 big operations I had. Two operations I had. On my surgery. I never had like a fracture or anything. Mm-hmm. But 2 things I had. It was I have to do the circumcision. Mm-hmm, so it was like a medical one because.
How old were you?
Like I don't know, like 8 years old, 9 years old, or something like that.
Okay, that's not so bad because some people get it much later, like 18.
Yeah, but I kind of remember it,
oh yeah.
Yeah, but like before, when you pee, like your pee goes like, like this.
Oh, it went all over the place, no direction.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
And after that, it's
Was it that the foreskin was too tight, or that?
Yes, I think so. Yes, yes.
And so it was just like making a little spray gun.
Yeah. I have like a flashback of this. I mean, like, and the second operation I had, which is also, it was also on the dick, like.
So you've only had 2 operations in your life, and they've both been dick ones?
Yes.
Okay.
That's true.
I think might have all been in my mouth. So it all adds up.
Okay.
Okay, but what was the second one?
The second one is actually related to this seedless thing. Like basically I had like this condition. It's how do you say, like there was like veins in the dick, in the balls.
Veins in the balls. And
it was like too tight around the balls itself, and it was saying that like you cannot. Like that, it didn't, like the sperm wasn't getting some connection to the dick, and then like it wasn't giving seeds.
How did you find this out? Someone was like, "That doesn't taste right."
I don't know. I wish. No, but like I don't know how it is, like in the other countries, but in Russia, I think at some point of time for like Russian boys, you have like a yearly medical check to see whether you are, like eligible for the army or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go through all the doctors. So, you go to the optician, he checks your eyes, you go to the psychologist or whatever, you go to somebody else.
He just doesn't talk to you at all and says yes, yes, yes.
yeah, something like that. And then there's one guy, this is always very traumatic, it's the urologist, I think,
Mm-hmm.
he goes to you, he doesn't even look at you, he's writing something and he's like, okay, take down your pants, you take down your pants, or you even naked, I don't remember, and he touches your balls, and he's,
Mm-hmm.
you're doing these balls, like
He does
so.
like the meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like writing down something, right? Like, and one time the guy was just like doing this, he wrote down, and then he's like, yeah, you should check it out. I'm like, what? Yeah, you have something. I'm like, what do I have? And it's like, I don't know, you have to check with the doctor. And then there was like this condition where, like the vein is too big. I think in Russian it's called varicocele. So basically,
So it was like strangling your sperm flow to your dick.
something like that, yes.
Okay.
And it's not that, like I wasn't coming, I was coming a lot at
All right.
but like, it was a teenage year, so like lots of porn and stuff. Not that I was like having lots of sex.
Lots of Russian Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And and then basically, like to the teenage boy, they were basically saying, like if you don't do this operation, you're not gonna be able to have children. And
Shit.
I'm like, okay, that's fine, I guess. I don't know, but
Leave
yeah.
it. Yeah.
But they did it at some point of time. And like I think it was even the same doctor that did my circumcision, like because he was a friend of the family, I don't know. That was like weird, I guess. And then
I've seen this before. Yeah.
and when he was like doing the results of his work afterwards, after the operation on the second day, he was like also caressing my balls and checking, and he was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing it a little bit longer than maybe it needed or something. And then the guy that was standing next to me, he was also had like the same operation. He was like, when he was like doing this, he made the joke like, yeah, like operation went bad, it didn't work. And then the guy who did this, he's like became very nervous. He's like, don't you make this kind of jokes? And then like they finished. So since that time, I'm still thinking maybe if the operation didn't work well, like maybe I'm still seedless. I don't know, and I don't know how to check, like maybe I should have the unprotected sex and then I will figure it out. I don't know.
I
But
feel like there's maybe a better way to check. I think you could probably go to a urologist here, or or go to the sperm bank.
maybe.
They do. How old are you?
32. Yes.
32. Okay, I think like I'm not a doctor, but I think that they still will pay you for your sperm until like you're maybe in your 40s.
Yeah, cool.
And then you could like that by by going there, they will check if your sperm is worth taking. So they'll check if you're actually.
Anna, who in Europe would want an Asian sperm? It's like only some fetish person, I think, like.
Well, I think people who, I don't think that's a thing that people wouldn't want.
I don't know, like what I heard about this is like that, like the Danish sperm is, like very high demand because they're tall, like they're pretty, I don't know, like whatever. And, like everybody's going for this Danish sperm. And
Danish sperm.
Are
they just confused with pastries? They're like, I'll have one of those.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't go for a Danish sperm.
Okay, what kind of sperm would you go for your kid?
I'd probably go for, given my track run, I'd probably go for what I'm usually attracted to.
Okay.
Which is, because I think like if you're naturally drawn to a certain type of person, then maybe that's what your DNA wants. Maybe.
Okay.
So I'd probably go for something in like the Spanish-speaking world.
I see. I
Yeah.
see. Well, okay, not bad. But I think like they have the description, right? Like who was the sperm donor, and then it's like imagine there are two bottles, right? Like one bottle Danish athletes, I don't know, like Investment Barker or I don't know, like whoever, and then the other one is like Russian agent.
That's interesting, though.
Comedian,
Yeah, no, don't put the job there.
I think
just
it's
say unemployed, right? No, but I think like Siberian's interesting. Like as in, if you want to create beautiful kids, you really should look for the strongest level of diversity in the mix.
This is what I heard as well.
So
yes.
I think Asian Russian actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, I would do that over Danish for sure.
Well, thank you. If you need my sperm, let me know.
I'll keep you posted. Tomorrow you'll have all these messages from my old account being like, when can I get your sperm? No, but okay, that's really it. So yeah, you can get your sperm. The thing is, maybe we could do a pact, because I've been talking about this for a while and I get really... I don't want to be hypocritical, and I judge people when they talk about stuff and then they don't do it, and they keep talking about it and they don't do it. I've been saying that I'm going to get my fertility tested.
Okay.
Because I would like to just know, like, it's not so that I know if I'm fertile. It's like, it just means that, like, I'm assuming that I'm fertile, but if I'm not, then I can just stop thinking about having kids.
All right. Yes.
Right?
Okay.
So it's like, but it won't, I don't, like, I'm at the point where I'm now like, but if I am fertile, it doesn't change anything for me. It doesn't change how I go. It just means that whole, like, maybe I could just stop using protection or something. Like, it removes that whole thought. But if I am fertile, that's not going to make me go, oh, well, I'm only going to be with people that I can have babies with. You know what I mean?
I see.
No.
Yeah.
So maybe we could do a pact and you go get your sperm tested. And I just need, like, I'm just not very motivated right now.
Yeah, we can do that. We can totally do that. I don't know about the sperm bank yet. I mean, like, that could be also interesting. I'm also low on cash lately, but...
Apparently they do this for free, and you would get paid at the sperm bank.
Yeah, this is what I mean, right?
So
like,
as in, like, yeah, so that's motivation as well. It's like,
Yeah.
if you're seedful, then you'll also get a paycheck from this.
Yeah.
I won't. It's gotten really dark, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder what the lighting's like on the footage. I think it's probably fine. I could turn on a light though.
Up to you. I don't know.
I don't know. It's very moody in here. So.
Yeah, maybe it's because we started to talk about the sperm and, you know, like, not having the children and stuff.
And God's like, quiet now, children.
Yeah.
Although there's some blue sky in the distance. Okay. Yeah, over there.
Okay.
Okay, so do you want to have kids?
Eventually, yes. I think at some point of time, but, you know, like, I feel like I'm like 32 years old. Like, I feel like it's still young, right? Like, I don't know.
It is, absolutely.
Like, in the Russian standards, you know, like, by this time, my, like, a cousin would already had, like, 2 kids, I think, or 3 kids, you know, like, and...
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm already like a old dad or whatever, but yeah, at some point of time would be nice to have children. Yes.
Yeah, I think once you're like 40, then it's like you're an older parent. But I think so long as you're in the 30s, you're not considered, like, these days it's not considered an old parent. But like, for women, you know, after 35, it's we're considered geriatric. So like, it is like you are old and your body is like at high risk being after 35.
There should be like a nicer term for it, yeah?
There should be, shouldn't there?
Yeah.
Just like, even mature is better than geriatric.
Yeah.
My God. And like, come on, like, let's just update this, because, you know, if this is what the majority of women are doing now, waiting until after 35, then like, let's just treat most pregnancies as high risk.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
True. Yes, that's true. But I think like with technology will move with this also, right? Like, at some point of time, there will be like some defibrillator that you can put to your vagina, and then just like, and then, you know, like I think
they're just called vibrators. I think that's what the womanizer is.
But like the ones that will give you fertility or whatever. I don't know, like.
And then the eggs are revived and everything's good. Oh wow, it's really raining.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn on the light. Give me a second.
Sure, no worries.
Yeah, just because it's it feels a little bit dark and moody. That's a bit nicer.
Shit, I came with bike. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, bicycle. At least it's hot though. Yeah, Berlin's going storm crazy.
Yeah.
It's been nice though.
But I like it that way rather than, you know, like 29 degrees. Shit.
And
whatever.
like just dry heat and you know, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
I like it here. Okay, so maybe have kids probably like later in life. Have you been in Berlin? How long have you been in Berlin?
Like 2.5 years, I think, right? Like, before that, I was living in Munich for 5 years.
Okay.
And then before that, I was in Moscow.
Okay.
So,
right.
yeah.
Okay. And what, so in terms of, let's do a comparison of what like dating and love is like in like, let's say, yeah, Russia versus Germany.
Oh my God.
You sound like you're in trauma.
No, but like...
Oh my God.
I can compare Munich and Berlin. Munich and Moscow, I think.
Okay.
For myself. And Berlin, I haven't been dating in a lot because like I also just got into a relationship all from the very beginning somehow. But like in Moscow, somehow there is so much more matches. Like in Tinder, there is so much more action somehow going on, and in Munich is just I don't know, like nothing's happening. And
yeah, that sounds right.
What?
So Moscow's like dating central. Like everything's going on.
Like right now, no, right? Like, or even maybe more so. Like because everybody went to war, and somebody else left the country because of the war. So if you come right now and you're like from Berlin, for example, and for some reason you're not needed to be like in army or in prison, then you may be like a very hot material. But yeah.
Shout out to all the incels in Europe. Go to Moscow now. You're gonna get some pussy.
That's true, actually. Like I had like two things that comes to mind. One time, Jesus Christ, it's like at your last comedy show. Like.
I know it's really raining right now. This is insane. I haven't seen it rain this much since last Thursday when Raw got rained out to the point where the power went out and the thunder was so loud we couldn't hear you over it. Shit. Sorry. So what were you saying?
Like Moscow's dating, I think is quite wild somehow. Even I don't know. Like like during the pandemic, and it's not that I'm like anti-vaxxer or whatever, but like during the pandemic there was
interesting.
It's an interesting beginning. But when there was a lockdown, I think the first one or the second one, I couldn't bear it, like being in Munich. So I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm going to Moscow. And in Moscow there was no lockdown, like because they were quite lax with this and etc. And the people were like partying, everything was open, and like I guess simultaneously people were also dying. But I was like vaccinated. I actually came to Russia to vaccinate it first, right? And then like.
So you got the
Sputnik.
Sputnik.
Yes.
You got the Sputnik.
I had like this. My God, such an old jokes. Like I remember there was like a period where everybody had these jokes, and then it just died at some point of time.
I bring back my vax joke.
Yeah?
I've got one vax joke, and I bring it like it's still kind of relevant because it was it was relevant. It's still relevant, but what was your joke about Sputnik?
I was just saying, like I took Sputnik, like there's one tiny side effect, like it made me Asian. That's the whole bit, yeah.
One tiny side effect. Imagine. That's so funny. Okay, yeah.
Thanks.
But just all those conversations back then about what the vaccines would do to you, and it's like it was just so dumb, like the hysteria and it's like, dude, it's a vaccine. Like okay, maybe they're gonna be able to track where you are, okay, but like there's no like what else? Like
I don't think it's even tracking. It's just
it's just a fucking medicine. Man. Yeah.
Anyways, it's also like like somehow like a podcast from 2 years ago. Right. What I wanted to say is just like when I was going there, it was like open, and like I had like this period of living in Moscow, like while being in Germany, but still living like for 2 months in Moscow. And then it was just like I was like single, and it was like crazy, like somehow like I had like hand job in taxi 2 times.
Hand job in a taxi.
Yeah. And it was like one time it was so embarrassing.
Was this like on a date?
Yeah, like
just like you got into a taxi and these bitches were so hot they just couldn't take.
It's like, give me 5 stars.
The driver,
No.
Not even a woman. Just the driver's like,
what woman? It's an option in Uber in Russia, like just like a like a child seat and a hand job, please.
Yeah. Conversation, air conditioning, hand job.
Yeah. No. One time it was like after like some party with one girl, and then it was like very late. We were going actually for some reason to her place, and then like we were making out like very hard. It was dark. It was like some music playing, and then the hand job started. And then like hand job started. We came to her place.
And you were like, all right, bye-bye, I'm done.
but like it was also not, like somehow I'm very shy in this, like, and it was not initiated by me actually. She started doing this, like, and I was like, okay, like awkward, but like I was like, what am I, an idiot, like, to stop this?
Yes.
But it kind of stopped because we arrived to her place, and when we went out from her place, went down from the taxi, the taxi driver like looked at us and he's like, you should give me 5 stars. And he went away, like I was like, wow, this is so embarrassing.
Nah, you won't see him again.
Yeah, and like the girl also got like very embarrassed. She also got like very shy. She's like, yeah, go home, I don't know you, like, thanks for, like,
Oh, what? It ended?
yes. Yeah, no, like, it's not an end of the story, right? Like,
Okay.
she was like, yeah, I don't know you, like, we only met, like, it was embarrassing, like, like, hail a taxi. Like, just, and it was, like, 3 in the night. It was like outskirts of outskirts of Moscow.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm going, like, it was like very sad for me, but like, I ordered the taxi, same guys arriving. And he's like looking outside. He's like, what's happened? Like,
Yeah, like, what went wrong?
and I'm like, I'm not going with him, like, so I canceled an order, and she's like, okay, like, you can come to my place. And then we came to her place.
That's so funny. The same taxi driver came back and he's like, what happened? And you're like, no.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But and I don't know what like how many things he saw there, like from this thing, like, because I was also afraid to open my eyes to see, like, is he looking or not, like, that was like wild. Yes,
Definitely.
And the other time it was just like a guy, I think very, very Muslim or something, and we were just like kissing. There was no hand job.
It does sound a lot like you were seeing this very Muslim guy.
It wasn't, I don't.
The way you started that story, I know you were talking about the driver, but it really did sound like you.
Sorry.
And there was this guy, very Muslim.
Yeah.
You were just kissing. No hand up, yeah.
Yeah. No, but like the driver was like, yeah, you should be ashamed
Oh my goodness.
of kissing, Yeah, he's like, you should be ashamed. Why are you doing this? Like, I'm working. Why you were kissing in front of me? And I'm like, I'm very sorry. And it was like 1 week after that the other thing happened.
You just never learn. Oh my god, such judgy drivers. But if Moscow is such a happening, vibrant city, like, you'd think that taxi drivers would be used to crazy shit happening in the back.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like,
or is it still quite sexually conservative?
I think it is.
From what I'm hearing from you, and like from that, like, it could just be you and that woman and whatever, but like, it sounds a bit sexually conservative compared to, say, Berlin.
Yeah, I think it is conservative comparing to Berlin in terms of, like, LGBT.
Let's be honest, everywhere's conservative compared to Berlin, but like compared to, let's say, like Munich or something that's,
I think it's less conservative than Munich, actually, right? Like, I think the whole Russia is very conservative, and there is a lot of places where, like, you can get stoned for this and whatever, right? Like, in Russia even. Moscow
for public displays of affection.
Yeah.
Like heterosexual public displays of affection.
Yeah, like, there is some, like, very religious regions as well, and, like, people somehow have still this very strict understanding of all whatever's happening. I don't know if, like, for the heterosexual it would be, like, very wild, but, like, I think if I would be getting a hand job in the taxi in my hometown in Siberia, like, the driver maybe would have called the police on me, or, like, even kicked the shit out of me, like, just for this, and call the lady like a prostitute or whatever. I don't know. But Moscow itself is like, it was a very wild place, like, it's somehow very, like, there is so much money, so much people, so a lot of things happening and whatever, like, and I miss it somehow. It's also kind of very strange what's happening right now, right? Like, so.
The population's huge, right? Like, do you know what the population is of Moscow?
14 million, I think, or something.
14?
Yeah.
Fuck, that is mad. That's, although not, Tokyo is like 20 million or more, but like 14 million, that's still, And it's a big city, right? Like it's in like
it is a huge
spans,
city. Yes.
quite
You
far.
everywhere you go on the taxi, actually, like if you have some money, right? Like a taxi or subway, right? Like
The subway's supposed to be really good.
it's
right?
quite fast as well, and etc. But it stops after like midnight or 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And like this is why also half of the material of comedians in Russia, it's like I was taking a taxi, like.
Oh, really? Because like you just
Yeah.
have to after midnight. That's
Yeah.
interesting. That's in terms of like I've only ever actually I'm trying to think. Like I think I've only got one story of being like having hand jobs in taxis. And
Yeah?
like it was only me receiving. And it was
It's much easier though, like I think
and
more
it's more hidden.
it's
yeah.
like more discreet, yes.
Yeah. Although you can get into pants and do a hand job under the thing.
Yeah, I don't know why it happened like this.
Why she whipped it out.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Well, with my one, like the taxi driver didn't say anything, and
Because
it was
the dick was
relatively
very
discreet.
huge.
The what?
The dick was very huge.
That's you're looking into the camera as you
Yes.
say. Okay, you're. I did feel very dirty when I did. I felt very dirty when I did
Yeah.
my little incident. But it was the circumstances around it. So I'd been at a club and then I went out for a cigarette and then they wouldn't let me back in. So I was
Okay.
like, technically got kicked out of the club. Then I'm standing in front smoking a cigarette, like rolling my cigarette, rolling another cigarette, like going like, what am I going to do now? And there was this cute guy standing there. I'm like, oh, do you have a lighter? And then we start talking. He's Italian. We're talking in Italian. I'm like, what are you doing now? He's like, I'm going home. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, my taxi's about to arrive. I'm like, okay. He's like, do you want to come? I'm like, yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Wow. And then
That's cool.
and then we get into the taxi and then we just start making out and then his hands up my skirt and then we get to his place and taxi driver didn't say fucking shit. So I was like, thank God for that.
Oh yeah, 5 stars to this guy, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that was like very different experience. No shame there.
Jesus,
Just my
I mean,
own.
like this thing never happened to me, like until, and I would say, like, funny for me to say, right? Like, but before, like this pandemic season, I thought, like it's a made up stories or it never will happen to me, and then it happened,
like sex, like sort of sex in a taxi.
Yeah, I had like a 6 months or whatever, like, and it was weird.
It's funny. Okay, you brought this up actually, but it's funny because I was actually talking to a comedian friend last night about basically post-lockdown debauchery and the hedonism that happened after the last lockdown in 2020, like the start of 2021, that the last lockdown it lifted, and then the craziness. And this friend that I was talking to, he said that, I said after that period, I kind of got into a relationship kind of quickly, but then after that relationship broke down, then it was like height of summer, and I think the worst I've ever done, which I think I did again sort of in the last year, was and the worst, by worst I mean like most prolific sexually, was hooking up with 3 different people in 3 days
Oh
consecutively.
wow.
And like boom, boom, boom. And so I was saying this and I was like, and when it's all random, like no Tinder, no anything, it's just like you meet this person, fuck, you meet someone the next night, you fuck, you meet someone the next night, you fuck, And this comedian that I was talking to, he was like, oh dude, like me, he said like, I think it was like June 2021, he's like, I went 15 days in a row and fucked 17 people
Oh wow.
in those, and all different people.
Jesus. Was it like an accident or it was like,
It just
like
kept happening.
Oh wow, yeah.
He was like at the top of his game, and it was just show, meeting people
I
out.
see, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, at day 7, I would have been like, I need to take a night off. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of, whoa.
Yeah.
And it's not to slut shame. It's just like, you start thinking about your choices and maybe what you're, like where you're putting your energy, and like already like that's probably at least after 7 days, it's probably at least 3 phone numbers and people maybe that you're gonna like maybe see again, but like 7, and then to keep going for another 8 days.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, it is a lot. I mean, like, I heard like a story the other day, like a friend of mine had like a basically one lady had like a husband, and this husband had 2 families. And then he was like saying he's a taxi driver, maybe the same guy, I don't know.
Your taxi driver.
I don't know. But he was basically saying, I'm going, like to taxi shift in the night, and he was going to another family. He was being with another family for 3 hours in the night, and he was coming back, like to the first family.
So he did have a primary family. Yes. They got most of him, and then he had a second family.
Exactly.
A side family.
And he was like doing this for the half a year or something like that.
Only
until
half
he got
a year?
caught. Like maybe even more. Like I don't remember the story, but
were they his children in both households?
The other one haven't had a child, but she got pregnant with him.
Yeah.
He basically paid for her, like the artificial impregnation thing and etc.
Whoa, he even did IVF for her.
Yes.
He did IVF to have a side family.
Yes, and this guy was owing to my friend a lot of money. And this is like the whole story. And I'm like, whenever I hear this or this story, I was like, where people find the energy, it's just like so exhausting to just exist for me. I don't know.
I look at it and I go, maybe that's like a really nice application of ADHD, just like so much energy, not able to focus, two families, hustling between both of them. But firstly it's like, and also so firstly energy, secondly I think you've got to want a bit of drama to pursue something like that. You've got to that's what they're enjoying. And if this dude is a taxi, maybe this dude, regardless of whether or not he actually was a taxi driver, just needed a bit of excitement in his life, and this is what gave him excitement.
Yeah, that's...
And definitely gave him validation.
It's funny how, this thing finds different outlets, right? Like some people, I think there was like a very similar story in some TV show about how the woman became like a North Korean spy or whatever, because she wanted some excitement. And then, or you start a second family,
Or you start a second family, you start making meth in your family home to pay for your cancer bills. Or I don't know, you start being a self-produced comedian.
Exactly.
Like multitasking a million things. Or, I think I have actually been offered a side family before.
Yeah?
Yeah. So there's this guy, and he had a wife and a child, and we sort of started hanging out a little bit, and I knew about the wife and the child, and we never fucked. But he was like... he really wanted to, and the reason why we didn't fuck was because he didn't want to fuck with a condom.
Oh my god.
And he was seed full. He wanted to impregnate me. He actually, those were his words. He's like, I want to make you pregnant. I want to see your belly full with my baby, and I want you to be my second family.
My god, what a pervert. Like, this sounds, very Christian-y, but it's also very perverty, it's like he's just getting off on pregnant women or something. I don't know.
A bit. I think he was into pregnant women, but I also think he was in and he was like, I want you to have I want to have a child with you, and I think you're the person that I want to have. And I was like, dude, I'd do it if your current wife, if your wife knows about it.
Okay.
Like if this is like a poly thing where it's a community and she knows, and he's like, no, it has to be secret. I'm like, I'm not going to be a secret. I'm not going to be a I'm not going to be a secret family. Like, fuck off. I deserve a main family. I deserve to not be a fucking secret hidden from people. I'm not something to be ashamed of or to lie about. So that was why I said no.
Okay. Yes, Anna, you deserve to be a main family.
I do, right? I do. Exactly. So... these people exist.
Man, it's just like, but like this guy, this guy would be such a good, monarch 3 centuries ago or something, right? Like he was just like born in the different times somehow,
Yeah, right.
Maybe he was supposed to born 3 centuries before or 3 centuries after, I don't know.
I think so. Why is that playing? That's random. He was just born in the wrong time, or... Yeah, he did come from a lot of money though, apparently, and I think there's a certain level of entitlement and privilege that sinks deep in, and then I think comes out in fucked up.
Yeah,
ways.
Recently I have problems with money. because like I lost my job in the beginning of the year. I actually found a new job. It's gonna be in August, but I kind of realized at some point of time when you run out of the like your fixed income or whatever, how much time the money problem takes you up your mind. Like 60%, like 70% sometimes. Like you're just like thinking, where do I get the fucking money? How do I survive the fucking next day?
Yeah.
And then you think, like, people without this problem, they just I'm gonna start a second family, right? Like, or
right.
it's just crazy.
Like if you I don't know. I guess maybe it's a money thing. I think it's also just like a messy drama. I want everything and not processing how that might make other people feel, and just pursuing things without consideration of the consequences and people's feelings.
Yeah,
I think that's a big part of it. I think that's got to be a big part of it.
It's also because of the money, I guess. No,
I guess it's also because of the money that you can think that you. But I'm sure poor people do this too. Like I think like just making it dudes do this too.
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
But like maybe in a less of a big way, because like 50% of the time they think, okay, how do I earn some money for myself,
which is taking
whatever.
up that energy, which is going to stop them from being able to maintain the two families.
Yeah, how do I provide for my second family? Like I have to drive a taxi for a bit.
Oof. Yeah. And then he finds a third family with the girl that was giving you a hand job. Okay, you're going to need to leave soon. You've got to be there at 6:30.
I think if you would do it until 6 if you want, that's fine.
Okay, let's go for another 10-15 and then we can wrap it up. That's easy. Okay, side families. All right. Yeah, I could never do that.
What was the most illegal thing you did, maybe? Like, because we were talking about this, and I'm just curious. Like, is it allowed to tell you? Like, can you defraud yourself?
I'm happy to talk about I think the most illegal things I've done, like as in within, like, obviously you transplant me to Saudi Arabia or, Afghanistan or something, then like the shit that I do all the time is extremely illegal and I would have been murdered, right? Just like my lifestyle. But like illegal shit that I've done in countries where it is illegal. I think I've definitely, it's all to do with drugs.
All right.
I've definitely sold drugs. Not for a profit and not above the quantity that would put me in jail. But I've been a very small scale drug dealer at different times of my life.
Okay.
Like, and it's really my small scale drug dealer. It's more like 10 friends want drugs, and so I will distribute the drugs amongst them and make no profit and have put in energy. And actually, I think one time I made a little bit of profit, but it covered my like travel costs and my time
around
to
the
get
world.
Them. Yeah.
5-star resorts.
It was actually in Portugal, but what's funny is actually in Portugal, drugs are decriminalized. So I'm not even sure if it was illegal, but I was dealing drugs for the locals even. Like I was there for a music festival and I managed to get a good connection, got very good quality drugs, and I ended up selling these drugs to like 5 or 6 different people.
Okay. I think it shouldn't be illegal at all, even, like
it
at some
shouldn't
point
be.
Yeah.
It really shouldn't. But like I've never stolen anything, maybe accidentally, like there's been like a premise of a joke that like sounds the same as someone else's. Maybe it's like, maybe like that, or maybe like, 2 words that have a similar like beat in a punchline. Maybe that's happened. But in terms of like anything, and then, okay, I'm not sure if I should say it. And then
okay, like, something interesting.
And then there is like little bits of
strange accent,
little bits of like maybe not completely upfront tax stuff. Maybe
okay.
or like being like as in like being paid money and it not being accounted for.
Okay, it's not so exciting. I thought it's gonna be more exciting, but it's like a white collar kind of.
It's very white collar. I think all my crimes are white collar except for the like drug dealing.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think if there's anything a little bit more like. And then I've definitely transported drugs into other countries where it's absolutely
inside your body. No,
not inside my body. I've never, and I, one day maybe but I'd hate to go through the scanner thing. No, it's just been in my suitcase.
Okay.
I've definitely had drugs pass in my suitcase, whether or not it was intentional, but like through states like Qatar.
Shit. Okay.
And maybe even
Jesus.
I think that's the worst I've done.
Okay.
Yeah. You?
Oof. Nothing like this. I mean, like drugs, not selling drugs. Also, I think I might have some problems this year with the tax and etc.
Yeah.
Because I started to do more of the shows and etc.
Yeah.
And but like it's not. I don't consider it to be illegal, but I was in prison. Have I told you this story? Have you heard this story?
No, but this is funny because I've been developing a bit about how like not like, but it's just funny because like how many of the guys that I've dated have been in prison,
Okay.
and like for a while I was like, you know, like I wouldn't see it as a red flag because all these guys are from the US. A lot of these guys are from the US, so it's like, oh, you've been in prison, like, oh, the system's so corrupt, and then like I excuse all of their red flags as basically being like American social political issues.
Yeah.
But then like realizing that actually like a bunch of the guys I've dated that are not US citizens have also been in jail. So tell us your not that like there's any like
it's no, but like I understand, but it's completely, it's, you know, like this whole random thing, it's basically, you know, like I had like this 6 months or whatever, you know, like months of excitement and whatever, everything was going well, and then on the last day when I was like it was like last day when I was supposed to actually go to Germany, or back to Germany, or travel the world or whatever, I went to this political protest in Moscow.
Oh shit.
And you know, like I was arrested in there, like I was there maybe for 10 minutes or something, and like this is also I want to do maybe like 1 hour stand-up story because it's like so rich with details and etc. But basically they put me into the, you know, like this car with a lot of other people.
What was the protest against?
It was against Ukraine.
Okay.
No,
it wasn't. Well, it was for Ukraine.
no, it was to support the Alexei Navalny. Like I hope it's not I hope it's not gonna get cut, you know, like in this thing, and then, you know, like when I'm become famous, hopefully, you know, like it will be the thing that will cancel me, you know, like when I said it was the protest against Ukraine. No.
And if they do, like, fucking listen to the whole thing, but no, but you were to support the opposition leader.
So basically, this guy, I was also very inspired by him because he was in Germany, and then he, you know, like he got better and whatever, he came back to Russia, and I was like at that point of time also was like in Germany, and then came to Russia, and I was like, okay, I have to support him. He was in jail, so I came. I was there for 30 minutes. They took us in the car, started to arrest everybody there. I think it was like a record arresting time at that time, you know, like in Russia, that they arrested like, I don't know, 1,000 people all across the country, or even more, I don't remember. And yeah, like I was one of them, and they put us in a car, and when you're in a car, you're still, you know, like happy because you are with all these young people who are like smart, and you think you're compatriots or whatever. You take selfies in the car and whatever. And I'm like writing to my brother, you know, like I got in the car, they're gonna release me, so no worries. Then from this car they put us to the police station. Then from the police station they put us another police station. Then from the police station they bring us to court. Then after the court I got sentenced to 10 days in jail, or I don't know, like what's the difference, jail and prison?
Same thing.
Yeah, and then, you know, like I spent 10 days in jail in a did I do something?
No. It's I just probably got a message, but
yeah. And then I spent 10 days in a 10-man person room.
A 10-person room.
Yeah, it's like the size, like smaller than your apartment. I think, you know, like it's like maybe like if you do like this, then it's gonna be like
from there.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know how many square meters is, like 20 square meters, maybe something like that, with 10 people. Jesus. All men. And, you know, like the toilet was right in the corner. Yeah. And that was a fun time, you know.
10 days, toilet in the corner.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, I've heard about the toilet situation of prison cells because of some of my exes. How, like, even for urine, you should do a courtesy flush because urine can smell. Just like certain like etiquettes around toilets.
See what the guys told us, you know, like when I got to the cell, I thought everybody would be like me, you know, like smart people, whatever, you know, like traveling the world or something. When I got into this thing, you know, like everybody were from the protest, but 3 people out of 10 they were before in prison. You know, like
nice, just to make it interesting for
yeah,
you.
they were like for drug thing, then one for stealing something. So like minor things, right? Like, but they knew how to behave in prison.
Okay,
and
that's actually good.
Yeah, and in Russia there is like a big culture of the Russian prison culture. You know, like all this Russian tattoos or whatever. You know, like, and they kind of said, okay, you know, like to go to the toilet and you know, like to kind of not disperse the smell, you take the toilet paper, you rub it with the soap, and you set it on fire. And then it's, you know, like kind of blocks the smell of the shit. Yeah.
Is that after you shit, you get toilet paper, you get soap on it, and you light it?
Yeah, you kind of.
Sounds really dangerous.
I don't know. You kind of do this, and we were like in this cell. They were like smoking all the time.
That's a prison air freshener right there. Toilet paper, soap, and fire.
Yes. Yeah. But that was like, you know, like first 2 days I was like very excited, you know, like I was like it was so interesting because, you know, like they were then showing how to do like some games, like, you know, like checkers or whatever out of the piece of bread and whatever, you know, like then we were doing, you know, like some ropes. I don't know why we were doing ropes to, you know, like hang our shirts and whatever, to wash them and hang it, and we were doing ropes out of the bed linen, you know, like, and I was like looking into this, I was like thinking this could be like Airbnb experience, you know, like for some German travelers, tourists, you know, like for really for 1 or 2 days you can sell it. Yeah. And they were like saying, yeah, in prison you can do this, you cannot do this and whatever, and I'm like, okay, continue. Wow. But yeah, that was very interesting.
And the food and the
food was
treatment.
Like it was shit. So basically, you know, like you had to spend the whole time in this cell, but you know, like for 1 hour, you could have. We were all going outside to the backyard. We were like running, playing soccer or whatever, and then we were going back. The food was, you know, like shit, but it was as shit as in it was in my high school, you know, like it wasn't like very bad. And they were giving it out, you know, like through these holes in the cell. And but we were getting a lot of, you know, like stuff from the outside, so they were like a lot of you know, like sweet stuff and a lot of cigarettes coming in and etc. So we were like sitting, smoking, reading, and you know, like talking shit.
And you could smoke in the cell.
Yeah. You could, like everybody was smoking. I had to. I think like my smoking habit became worse there because everybody was smoking. I was like, okay, I'm gonna smoke as well. What else was there? It was very strange time, you know, like there is also what was there is like, because everybody were from the protest, even like half of the prison was in the protest, and whenever we were going outside for a walk, everybody were from the protest. So we actually were doing like small demonstrations during the break. So we were like, fuck Putin, you know, like Russia will be free inside the cell, you know, like, and there was like guards of the thing, they were looking at us like idiots, you know, like what the fuck are you doing, you know, like nobody can hear you.
No one can hear you while you're doing this,
But it was like good for morale and whatever. And then somebody managed to actually bring their phone with them.
Oh wow.
And they filmed the thing and they posted it online on TikTok.
Oh shit.
And it was like one of the biggest ones that we did. Somebody even draw you know like the signs and whatever, there were pictures and etc. It became viral on TikTok.
Fuck yeah.
And then every news media outlet in Russia wrote about this, that, you know, like prisoners made a demonstration there, and on the next day after, the police came and they were like, you know, like having, how do you say, like one-on-one conversations with everybody,
interrogating.
Yeah. And then you know, like I come to the room where they were sitting and they're like showing me the video. I see myself on the video and they're like, do you know something about this video? I'm like, first time I see it, you know. Yeah. And it was like so funny. It was like, you know, they were like, you know that you can go to prison for this. I'm like, we're already in prison, you know, like, so that was like very exhibit style kind of thing, you know, like you like prison, so we'll put you in prison and whatever. But it got a little bit scary because of this, because, you know, like everybody kind of was thinking, okay, it's a setup by the FSB or whatever or something else, and everybody were afraid to go out afterwards. But yeah, after 10 days I was like smelling like shit when I was coming out, but yeah.
Okay, so you got out, and then so they didn't extend any. Did they? Do you know if they extended anyone's prison time because of the video?
No. I don't think they did actually. No.
Okay, they weren't able to trace it back, or
I think they just like gave up. They didn't want to pursue it, and that's it. Like there were like a lot of different other things happening in the other stuff. So yeah, it was easier time somehow. Like it was like a year before the war even.
Yeah.
But after that, I was like fuck no, like I'm not staying in Moscow anymore, like because before the pandemic I was like before this I like to come to Moscow, like see my family, see the people, but like now after this I was like fuck no, like it's better to be in Berlin or even in Munich,
Yeah.
So yeah,
just in terms of like civil rights, liberties.
And I would like to avoid seeing a lot of naked people in the same place, like naked men, because everybody were like, it was so hot there that everybody were wearing underwear, like just walking inside, and like some people were very fit, the other one wasn't, so
All right, so a lot of nudity in the prison cell. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
I guess at least it wasn't cold though, because the heating probably wouldn't be that good.
Yeah, it wasn't cold. It was during the winter, so it was cold outside, but inside it was like heating all the time, and it was like you had to undress. Yes.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't expect that. All right, so prison time. All right, and then you get out, and then you didn't see any like no one. Was it? So it was just men. Okay, so there wasn't.
Yeah.
It was
there was like how do you say? In the same prison there were ladies as well, and they sometimes we were like talking when they were like outside or we were inside, and some guys were like like in our cell were like ladies, that was like very weird. But I guess this is what 10 days in prison do to you.
Just 10 days. Though, come on, guy. Like, no one turned gay. Did you see anyone turn gay for it?
I think no. Like, but
yeah, because I wonder, like, if homosexuality is so illegal in Russia, or so so illegal. I guess it is illegal, right? In Russia?
Yes, it is now very illegal.
Then
yes.
what happens in the prisons?
Something happens, right? Like again, there is this big culture about these people that like they if they are passive homosexuals, then they are like not very welcomed in this establishment and whatever. But like I don't know most of these details there. But basically, it's bad for you to be homosexual in prison, I guess. Is homosexual a good word to say right now?
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Sounds also like as bad as geriatric right now.
It's very what's the word, like biological, or it's just like homosexual.
Yeah,
scientific. That's the word.
Yeah.
But there's no slur to like calling someone a homo is not quite right. But like homosexual is inclusive of men and women, so it's like.
But
it's good.
Like after 10 days, I felt like I needed to jerk off. Like so on the next day I jerked off.
Where?
At my home.
Oh, okay. When you got out, you didn't,
you
didn't like just take a corner.
No.
Everyone, just hum to yourself. Close your eyes. We're gonna have a little.
Yeah, I mean, like that was like too weird even to wake up. Like sometimes you wake up and you have like a boner and you're like, oh my god, like.
Yeah, that must be a little bit tougher. Whereas women, I don't know, I guess, we'd have different issues, would wake up and be like, fuck, we're bleeding, what do we do? I guess there'd be tampons available and stuff.
It's worse though, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be like, in terms of smells and stuff, I don't know. Men are gross, women are gross. Yeah, I've never been in prison. I don't know. Maybe,
you should tick that off of your box,
I don't know. I wonder what I would get in prison for. Like, yeah, I've also got it on my list that I mentioned in my last podcast episode that I do want to be in a fight one day. Like,
oh, wow.
So maybe I can end up in prison after a fight.
Yeah.
Like that would be like bringing those two together nice and neatly.
Yes. But for that you have to win, I guess, no?
I don't know. Maybe I have to cause some damage enough to be, or I have to start the fight at least, right? I don't have to win necessarily.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't think I'd like to think I'd win, but I don't think.
But like, I don't think the German prisons are tough. Are German prisons tough? I
don't think they are.
Yeah.
I don't think they are. I think like the tough ones are like Russia or Thailand or
maybe don't go there in prison. Don't start a fight there.
Yeah, I've had two boyfriends be in prison in Thailand.
Oh shit.
And the other ones have been in the US, and then I don't know. I feel like one of them definitely had been in prison, but like he looked like he'd been in prison. You know, like
you attract prison people somehow.
I do. I'm attracted to them somehow. They're attracted to me. It's it's how it is. But yeah, let's see how I end up in prison. Are there any things on your list of things you need to do? Like, I got the fight. I guess I got prison. Like, prison's fascinating. Like, who doesn't want to see what the meal's like and what the shower's like, or what the fucking vibe's like, or like we watch the movies, like Con Air. Oh my god, I loved Con Air. Like I love. Who doesn't enjoy Escape from Alcatraz? Whoa, like prison's fascinating.
I in this Escape from Alcatraz, I like this, like this yellow balls or green balls that they had like for the bionuclear weapon. It's like my only like remembrance thing that. But
I don't remember it.
I don't think anybody remember this. Yeah, but
yellow balls.
Green balls.
Green
sorry.
balls. Okay.
Yeah. My balls are yellow.
Yup. And we're back to Seedless. Okay.
Is this the name of the podcast? I think
it might be. Infertility in prison. No. Yeah. Anything on your list of things you want to get done? Like you said, you're very vanilla with sex.
I feel like I'm like very intimidated in all these things, or like shy. I don't know. Like, but sometimes I'm thinking, would I want to be in threesome, for example? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't think so. It's too much work somehow. Like it's just like. Maybe anal, but...
Mm-hmm. Maybe anal.
Like, maybe finger in my butthole, like...
Okay, these are still not being crossed off.
I'm just like, like maybe it's how do you say, like a roadmap for me to get pegged, like... tomorrow, finger in my butt, like in a year, it's a peg or something.
Yeah. Do you, like, is the homophobia of Russia like deep in you that you think if you got pegged that you would be a bit nervous that would make you a bit gay?
Oh, I wouldn't tell it to my parents, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think most people would. Pegging's an interesting one. Like I respect dudes who are like, yeah, I like shit up my butt. Like I like things up my butt. Yeah.
No, but I think like they say that like it's pleasurable because there is this prostate thingy, right? Like I would like to experience this for sure, right? Like maybe I like it so much I have to like beg for the peg in my butt, but I'm still not there. I
feel like there's
yet.
a doctor in Siberia who could help you. He wants to complete the job. He gets to check your prostate and your balls.
But like this thing also, like just brings me like a news from Russia, like that when they torture a guy in prison and whatever, they actually put like shove the champagne bottle in the ass,
Oh, like, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because if it's got a hole in it, then there's the suction, and then it can fucking.
So there was like a news that the guy died because of this, because it broke inside.
Yes,
exactly. Like, and then, like his last words was like, they fucked me with a champagne bottle.
Yes.
And then the champagne company had to release a statement that it was not a champagne because it has to be produced in France and it was a sparkling wine.
Oh my God, no.
The last part was beat, but like the whole story is truth. Like it was inspired by the story, but it's like fucking like.
That's super. There was a newsreader in Australia who was famous, and then she was made notorious by a story that she was drunk and ended up in hospital because she had a champagne bottle stuck up her vagina.
Ooh. Oh.
And it's like that was when I learned at a very young age, like if you put anything up there, make sure it doesn't have a hole and the suction thing, because it's not just that it's glass that can break. If it's like a bottle, then there's suction, and being able to get it out is the issue.
Yeah.
So a champagne bottle up the butthole, same problem.
I see. Okay.
It's the getting out that's the issue because of the suction.
I see.
Yeah. I hope all of you kids are taking notes. All right. No bottles in holes. Okay. All right, so how did we get to? You're getting pegged. All right, don't use a champagne bottle, Nikita. Just hold off on that. But like butt plugs, you can start with a butt plug.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Okay, so you're not sure if you want to experience anal explorations.
So let me tell you this. Why I was thinking about this is because I have hemorrhoids.
Oh, good.
And I already had like some fingers up my butt, but it was a doctor. And it was very interesting as well because like the doctor was like male. I specifically looked for the male doctor. I was like very ashamed of whatever. And then he put me on this chair, like to do this. And then he's like, yeah, you of course don't mind if my student will look. I'm like, oh, sure. And it was like a very nice looking woman. And she was like, oh, like, oh, fuck.
Why do they always have students when they need to look at something horrible?
I don't know.
Oh,
but basically,
I love how you made sure you got a doctor because you wouldn't like. Yeah, that's funny.
I think like I'm more now liberated. I think that would be like fine for me right now. But my butt is I know my ass. Like I've seen my shit. Like it's disgusting place. I wouldn't like to put a woman through that. Maybe it's sexist of me, but like I wouldn't like to put anybody like going through my.
I also get it. Like as in, I consider myself pansexual, but I feel more vulnerable in front of men when I'm naked than I do in front of women.
Okay.
So it's the same with like I would prefer to see. Also, it's like my body. I'd prefer to see a woman because my body is her body, and so I feel a little bit like, I don't know if I was like full gay, if I'd be like I want to see a man, but probably, I don't think that's how it works. But yeah, you feel a bit less vulnerable if they've got the same body as you.
Okay,
and they're not the body that you necessarily want to fuck. But yeah, I don't know.
But now I remember, I think when they were like, like doing something, you also, because you don't contain this, you kind of accidentally fart a couple of times, and it's just like. Like you're very, very embarrassed there.
Did you fart a couple of times?
Yeah.
I've never had my butthole. Examined medically.
Don't get hemorrhoids. Like.
Well, yes. So another comedian on the scene just had a bad hemorrhoid blowout. It's a very common thing amongst male comedians, is what I've learned. I know true. At least 3 now that have hemorrhoids. No, maybe 4. And I reckon I could probably guess a few more that have.
Yeah, like the thing is also that it comes and goes, right? Like, so if you got it once, then, like it's like, like it's my personal trainer now, right? Like if I eat bad, if I drink a lot of alcohol, stress eating and whatever, like, and then I don't shit properly, it goes back, right? And you're like, meditation and etc. And then it goes away, right?
Yeah. And just like good eating. And also, but the tip that the comedian last week who had a blowout said, and why he has them, his doctor said it's because you're spending too long on the toilet and you read on the toilet, and it's that pressure of like the toilet seat around your butthole, and it creates blockages in the veins.
Yeah.
And so you gotta, when you take a shit, just be quick about it and get the fuck off.
That's also not true.
Okay.
Yeah, because for me it's like I haven't had like the thing from the doctor, but like then I learned about myself is that because I was Russian, and then when you like
not Russian,
but Russian. I wanted to be fast about this, and when I was like going as an exercise. I was like thinking it's a gym, like you sit down and you're like and then like you're done.
It sounds a bit aggressive, but the aggression around
exactly.
that might be
and
the problem.
You cannot do this, like this is fucking up your thing, because if you
gotta
like,
let it, you can't push too hard.
Exactly.
Oh, now there's like 5 comedians. I just remembered another one.
Okay,
men.
All guests at your podcast,
I think most of them have been on my pod, but not all of them have talked about it. But yes, the thing is, you've got to let the shit kind of just come out.
Exactly.
You can't push too hard.
Exactly.
You're pushing too hard.
You have to relax. You cannot push it, and then like this is how you do it. And then yes, maybe time, but I think this is the most important for me at least. Like because when I was a child, I was like thinking I have to like do this. Let's do this, and then
it's too much pressure.
Yeah.
Whereas you just gotta let it. You can't push too hard. Like a bit of a push, cool, but like spending a lot of time pushing is what creates the problems with the veins and the hemorrhoids. Yeah. I'm really glad I don't have hemorrhoids, because I like anal sex. Just like boom, that becomes a problem, right? Like you can't just do anal if you have hemorrhoids.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Well, because it's painful.
Can I be packed if I have hemorrhoids? I guess not, right?
No, dude.
Oh my god.
Don't your hemorrhoids hurt?
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, like, yes, but I didn't put 1 and 2 together.
Okay.
But like, also, like when the doctor was examining me, he actually put a thing up my butt, and he's like.
Oh, that was a gross noise to add to that. Thank you.
And then
Okay, so while you had the hemorrhoids, you're saying he had his finger in your butt and was checking them out, but like having sex is like that's a lot of pressure on the hemorrhoid.
But like when I was saying this, like it gave me like a relief somehow, you know, like I was like, oof, you know, like because
so him putting his thumb up your butt and like turning it a little bit gave some
actually my other friend of mine who is you know, like I wanted to kind of confide to him in secret about my hemorrhoids. I said to him, I was like, dude, I have it like already for 2 years. I have this mini vibrator to help me with this.
No
I'm like,
way.
What? And apparently there's like a vibrator that you can buy that is like you stuck up your butt, you hold it there, and it's kind of, you know, like massages your finger or whatever. It relaxes your vein because, as you said, it's a vein and it, you know, like it goes away. So, you know, like maybe this is my like you know, like how they say,
I feel like penetration would be too rough, but maybe something inside that's vibrating to relax it. Okay, yeah.
But you know how they say the cannabis is like a gateway drug, so you know, like maybe hemorrhoids is a gateway drug to pegging.
I like that a lot. By the way, you can get those vibrating butt plugs at the airport in Berlin. BER airport. In the male toilets, they have I've got one. It was only in the men's though. Vibrating butt plugs. And maybe you could try it out. You just have to like lube it up a lot. When it comes to anal, just don't be light on the lube. Go hard on the lube, and then you'll, you know, because particularly if you've got hemorrhoids. Okay, I feel like this is the natural end. The natural end. We've come to the Let's wrap it up. Did your hemorrhoids ever just quickly? Did they ever like burst and like bleed everywhere?
Not burst, but I had like a bleeding period somehow, you know, like that it was going a bit away and it was like making my underwear dirty a bit. Okay. So at some point of time, I think it was like in Moscow, it was so bad that, you know, like I was sitting with friends. I was, of course, I wasn't telling anybody that I have this, but I was like sitting with my friends. I felt it is like, okay, something's going on there. I would stand up and I would check, you know, like a seat that there is nothing going on, you know, like it, and then, you know, like sometimes, you know, like side of my jeans had like some shit, but it wasn't like a blood.
When you say shit, you mean blood.
But like, I don't know, it was something in between, I guess. I don't know what was this, you know.
Okay. Oof. Yeah, because I had a boyfriend who one day we were chilling out, and then he got up and there was this huge pool of blood on the bed. And we didn't know he had hemorrhoids at that point.
Oh my God!
I had to accompany him to the hospital, and we just smoked like a really big joint, and so I was laughing a lot. I was a really bad girlfriend. Like I was empathetic, but I was also like, but you're bleeding from your butthole, like. And so it was like a lot of blood though. It was like he was like really menstruating, and turns out just hemorrhoids, but like he really burst one. So he'd clearly been struggling with it for a while and not and then like sitting there it just or maybe he it's fun.
Sometimes there was like a blood in my stool and stuff. Oh man, it's disgusting. Like, is it like, will people listen to it?
I once spent like maybe 2 hours with a butt plug in. I don't like, this is the only time I've done it. But I was lying on the couch, and then this is interesting. I'm just wanting to make you feel better about sharing all this. I took the butt plug out afterwards, and then there was a little bit of blood, and so I feel like the butt plug wasn't huge, but it was big enough. But I was like, that was a lesson for me to go, okay, don't be sitting down for long periods when you got a butt plug in, because it definitely knocked something, and it was just a little bit of blood, but like nothing it was like from inside. Yeah. Okay. So I was like, oof, you don't want to be perforating any kind of like rectum or, you know, intestinal walls. So PSA, don't hang out lying down with butt plugs in. Also, don't push too hard. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Excellent. Well, let's wrap it up. Where can people find you, Nikita?
My Instagram is at nikita.comedy. That's it. Do you have any shows coming up? Are you producing any shows? I produce a lot of Russian-speaking shows, but lately, like, this takes my time. I want to do more of the English shows. I mean, like, if you sign up for some shows, but like nothing, you know, like big coming up. Maybe something in September. Let's see.
Okay, sweet. Amazing. Well, go to the doctors if you're bleeding, guys, and find me on AF Barros. And again, check for my new Facebook profile and ignore any spam from my previous account where I'm wearing the orange jacket. And I love you guys. That's been Adults Only Comedy Berlin. Thank you so much and goodbye.
Bye.